Welcome back to another pre-event pep talk here on the DG Free Discord. And of course, thanks for showing up. As per usual, this will be a closed mic event. We'll try to have time for questions at the end. And for questions, please feel free to send me a direct message while tagging me with @mintb and your specific questions so that they don't get lost. Let's kick things off tonight by taking the temperature of the room. If you guys could first show me with emojis how you're feeling about Mastemon. Alright, so I see so far a happy Patamon, I see a thumb up, I see a lot of hearts. Is Mastemon DG Gamer has poop? For functionality wise, she's not the best, and we'll definitely get into that. Is Mastemon waifu material? Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Mastemon waifu-san. Alright. How are we feeling about RustTyranomon? Wow, people are into RustTyranomon. RustTyranomon is pretty good. Definitely, oh wow. Welcome, huh? Weird. +4. I like that. +4. DG Gamer says RustTyranomon is +4 material. Rusty waifu. Yeah, I mean, who says RustTyranomon's a male? Maybe RustTyranomon is a female. Maybe, you know, he's actually kind of sort of a robot, so maybe it's not a he, maybe it's just somewhere in between. Lastly, if I could hear how you guys feel about the new Advent system coming up. People are shipping RustTyranomon and Mastemon. What a wild fantasy. Kaylee's is looking like determined for the new Advent quests. I think the new Advent quests are going to be really big, and I'm very excited to talk about them. Although we don't know too much, but we'll still talk about what we can. Okie doke. So we're going to go ahead and move into things. If you haven't already moved to the Help Center, we are in, of course, the Help Center. First up on our list, we're going to talk a little bit about the new permanent Advent quests. We have the introduction to what is being called the permanent Advent quests. The very first thing that I noticed about the permanent Advent quests that jumps out at me is, of course, the name, actually. Because these new Advent quests will be running for 1 week, whereas our previous ones were running for a month. I'm not sure how 1 week is more permanent than 1 month. I'm thinking maybe it's referencing the system, or it's a translation error or something. Maybe they do intend to keep this system for the remainder of the game's life. That should be interesting. Sean is saying maybe unlimited runs is what means permanent, but I'm trying to think of like the word permanent. Like, where did they get the word permanent from? I don't know. It kind of bugs me. It's just me nitpicking. I'm sure it's a good thing. Very little is actually said about the upcoming changes in the game's official news post, with the only concrete statement being that, and I quote, "The quest lineup will be changing weekly." Aside from that, it could be anything. If Graumon and the rest of the Digimon Links community's hunch is correct, it will likely mirror the Advent system of the Japanese Digimon Links server, and allow you to play the Advents as both solo and co-op, in addition to being able to play each difficulty an unlimited number of times per day. I see a lot of people are suggesting that. Adabunny is saying that in Japan they abolished that 3-try limit and introduced expert difficulty. That's interesting. Let's see. In some cases, there have been multiple Advents quests available at once, and it may appear in the daily quests, which is going to be interesting to see. However, please do take this with a grain of salt, as Bandai has been very, very interested and not shy about treating us differently than the Japanese server. You know, on the Japanese server, they get like sometimes half off of banner pulls, their first pull, and things like that. Other lovely goodies, which you can tell how disgruntled I am, because I wish we would get the same treatment. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be the same. Maybe it's going to be better. Riot if different, DG Gamer says. I really hope that it's going to be similar to the Japanese one. We need an option for newer players. It's so hard. I've been helping a lot of newer players on fresh starts recently. It's so hard to climb up and figure out like what to do and how to be competent or viable in these events. And in most cases, if you're new, you're coming out with, you know, some odd number of fragments from each event, maybe like 11 or 12 or 17 or something. You're falling short a lot of times if you're a new player. So these new advents should provide a very viable alternative for players that are just starting out. And, you know, even for maybe us more seasoned players, it's great to have better access to fodder instead of having to rely and cross our fingers on events like Strongest versus Strongest, which is amazing. I would love to see another event like Strongest versus Strongest. That was so crazy. All those all those metal Edamon fragments. Moving on. Let's see. Vikemon on tickets gets metal Edamons instead. Got some good memes up in the chat. Again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you can ever make it to the live version of the show, it's pretty fun. I think, you know, about half of the experience or more isn't so much from me speaking, but definitely from that community interaction down there. People are synergizing really well, and so it's really funny. I'm so sorry I'm not recording it. It's very funny. Moving on, before we get into the stats of our featured Digimon this week, let's talk a little bit about Mastemon and RustTyranommon's backgrounds. Mastemon is a Jogress of the Angelic Angiwoman, or Angiwoman. I don't know. There's a YouTuber out there that says Angiwoman. I don't know. I forget her name. She's a great person though. No hate. And the demonic Lady Devamon, and makes her first media appearance in a video game as the partner of Mide, a supporting character of the game Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. She is a fairly new character, and there isn't too much information on her thus far, but according to the, what's the date on this? The March 2015 issue of V-Jump magazine, she holds the title of Tactician from Another World, and is considered an angel Digimon, almost disregarding the fact that she's half demon, which does kind of explain her demeanor, behavior, and body language a bit, since she does seem to have that very holy aura and air about her. But it is interesting that she is categorized exclusively as an angel Digimon. That's kind of cool. I agree with it. Not as I would have expected, though. But as her design would suggest, she can manipulate both light and darkness, but something not easily visible is her ability to cross through time-space. I think that's kind of interesting. Basically, she's this futuristic, interdimensional, time-traveling angel woman with an amazing design, and the colors are actually really fantastic on her. I really do like the design. Functionality-wise in Digimon Links, she's not my favorite and also not what I'm looking for, but that's besides the point. Her skill animation is very cool. And I think all that said, it does make her a must-have for collectors. Go ahead and at least get 7 bites of this. It'll look pretty cool. Maybe it's decent for farming since it's null. Although I still do recommend multi-hit AoEs for farming. But, you know, it's a null damage area effect. Can't go wrong.
Mastemon, その力を見せなさい。マスティモンの力で平行世界あなたの探し物。
Let's have a look at RustTyranomon. People are really into Mastemon waifu. Like, I think maybe Mastemon is the new waifu of Digimon Links. Okay, let's look at RustTyranomon. He is also a more recent addition to the franchise, and like Mastemon, there isn't too much information on him. But what we do know about RustTyranomon is that he is a very tenured Metal Edamon. I mean, oh my goodness, the Freudian slips. I meant Metal Tyrannomon. Metal Edamon is just on my... I know! Metal Edamon is, like, the worst. Like, Palmon stronger than Metal Edamon. Actually, if you want a tank, of course, Metal Edamon is going to be better. So sorry, let me start that over again. RustTyranomon is a very tenured Metal Tyrannomon who has been fighting for its survival in a very harsh environment, and his organic form has failed to withstand the test of time, therefore being forfeited for a sturdier, more reliable mechanical frame. It is also stated in the Digimon reference book that he is one of few Digimon who have existed since the inception of the digital world, which makes sense since it's one of its pre-evolutions. Tyrannomon was actually one of the first Digimon to be designed. It's really interesting and very amazing that he was kind of there in the beginning. I guess it sort of makes sense since he's a dinosaur still, sort of, maybe. But let me go ahead and read the Digimon reference book excerpt. RustTyranomon has been living through the fierce, long-lasting battles since the digital world's birth by evolving alongside it. It has endured many years in harsh environments as Metal Tyrannomon, so much that its whole cyborg body is in fact rusting. Its tactics specialize in annihilation warfare, mowing down its enemies along with their base as one. RustTyranomon predates on Digimon, gorging on hundreds of thousands of Digimon within a short period of time without leaving any trace. Its special moves are Terror's Cluster, which extends the gun battery on its back forward and firing a large electromagnetic cannon, and then there is Rust Breath, in which it spews deep scarlet flames the same color as its body. Rust Breath even has a rusting effect on that which is touched by its friends. I think the lore here definitely plays a huge role. I was trying to figure out how RustTyranomon is a savior of the apocalypse. But as it turns out from reading that, it is not a savior of the apocalypse. I think maybe Mastemon is the savior of the apocalypse, and RustTyranomon is the apocalypse. At least Bandai lets us get Mastemon so we can supposedly fend off this apocalypse of RustTyranomon. And she gets a very nice 5 times attack special attack boost, which we'll talk about later on. Other fun RustTyranomon facts, which are just backlogs of knowledge that I have as a fan. RustTyranomon was introduced around the same time that Titamon was, and was designed by Kenji Watanabe, who does most of the designs anyhow, but he has actually been known to really enjoy filling in previous evolution lines, as it means so much to him to have the opportunity to show some older and at times forgotten Digimon much needed love. And it was designed in part by Osmaria, who is the primary artist for the X antibody Digimon, which explains why RustTyranomon looks a lot like things like Magnamon X and Dukemon X and so on and so forth. When Osmaria was working on it, they were actually unsure whether to put the special Ozma Green on it, signifying its X antibody form, since they were unsure of whether the cyborg was a carrier of the X antibody or not. So they did change the colors slightly, so it can be interpreted as a sensor lights or a digital core or anything else. But with that said, it's not in fact outright said that that RustTyranomon is not an X antibody Digimon. So maybe it's a secret X antibody Digimon. Random Digimon lore and facts and things like that for you guys. I thought it would be a little bit fun to share some of what I know. We'll go ahead and move on into the stats, which is Adabunny is saying, Osmaria likes his crystals. They do, yeah. And so, for the fans of the X-Antibody Digimon, this one might be one to pick up for you. It looks really good from the front, and it also looks really good from the back. Its tail has this special cannon feature. It's just a really cool Digimon. But that's kind of just me fanboying over it. Let's talk a little bit about stats, which is mostly probably what you guys came for, the literal applications. Let's see here. Mastemon is very unique in its ability to deal no spread damage. So, on that end, before we get into the stats too much, maybe it'd be a good idea to get her just because she's one of the only no spread move damage Digimon. I don't know. The other, of course, being Alphamon, who has Soul Digitization, which is 140 times 2. So multiple hits of minor magical null damage to all enemies for a total of 280, which is a bit stronger than Chaos Degradation, Mastemon's move, that is 250 magical null damage to all enemies. But Mastemon has a 70% chance to lower defense for 2 rounds by 10%. Mastemon has a very unfavorable speed, speed 134. This is much below the average speed for Digimon. If you tuned into previous PEPs, the average speed is, I think, either 148 or 149. After the V2, her speed comes up to 155, which puts her just above average speed, but below many other things. Like, I think, let's see, how well do I know this? Dukemon, or Gallantmon, the regular one, has a base speed of 156. So that makes Mastemon V2 just one step behind that. So still not an amazing, Alphamon is not impressed. Still not an amazing speed. I think it does ruin a lot of Mastemon's functionality with Chaos Degradation being able to have a 70% chance to lower defense for 2 rounds by 10%. 10% is not huge. I think it's 10%. In my notes, I have 10%. Maybe it's 20, but it's 10%. The problem with the functionality there is that because she's so slow, she'll likely be going behind your other Digimon that are flanking her or whatever. Her speed is such that maybe you would, in order to make Chaos Degradation really work for you in PvP, you would need to have her loaded with speed chips, and it just doesn't seem practical or viable. I don't think that's what you should do with extra chip slots, but that's the only way to get her to move in front. Otherwise, you'd have to be maybe forfeiting your first turn of skills, and which is really, really bad thing to do, I think, and then just using her skill on the first turn, and then following up with 2 other skills. DG Gamer's Alphamon says, impressed. I am not. That's right. I think a DG Gamer does have 2 Alphamons. This one's loaded up with medals and stuff. I think damage-wise, Alphamon special attack is, interestingly enough, just in line with Mastemon's, with Mastemon's special attack being 5,765 or 67 before V2, and Alphamon's special attack being 5,757. So very, very close. But of course the tankiness is not there. It's really hard to compare things to Alphamon for me, because I know that many of you guys, like myself, did not have the opportunity to get Alphamon. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to obtain him in natural ways in the future, and if and when you do, I actually do recommend that you opt for the single target move instead. Someone says that Mastemon needs some milk. She needs some milk. I don't know. After she gets some milk in the form of her V2, her HP goes up to 3,126. Her attack, which doesn't matter, goes up to 6,508 and matches her special attack, something that RustTyranomon does as well that I don't like. I believe it's a displacement in stat points, and I feel like it's a strong disservice to the Digimon itself, and the stat points could have been put elsewhere, like in her speed, maybe. But her defense is 5,530, special defense 5,497. So the defenses are pretty good. Her speed gets bumped up to 155. So I would just consider it an average speed. I really don't think Mastemon is a must-have for anyone. However, if you're playing this event with the intention of getting RustTyranomon, I think, you know, it'd be good to pick up at least, I don't know, maybe like a +2 or something, you know, of Mastemon, at least for that extra damage. She's gonna be pretty strong. Moving on to RustTyranomon. Actually, one sec, something fell. Okay, moving on to RustTyranomon. He does have a few more things to compare to him, unlike Mastemon. RustTyranomon has Ebimon, High Andromon, and Hercules Kabuterimon to kind of sort of has Terror Cluster, which is that, you know, 500 base damage physical thunder move. It comes with a 30% chance to paralyze. You have Ebimon out there with the 500 massive magical thunder damage. That has a 30% chance to confuse for 2 rounds. And you have High Andromon, who has the same 500 base damage attack with a 30% chance to stun the enemy. But I think these Digimon are all really interesting options. I will say that one thing that maybe makes High Andromon a little bit different than RustTyranomon and Ebimon is that he currently does not have a V2, so the room for growth isn't as available there. RustTyranomon does have a V2 and Ebimon does have a V2. RustTyranomon did the same sort of thing with its stats as Mastemon when it went to V2. They have its special attack and its attack kind of balanced. I feel like it's such a waste of points. Back to the thunder damage considerations. Ebimon's special attack goes up to 6,622 after the V2. I think I prefer the Ebimon, but RustTyranomon does have that paralysis, and there aren't many Digimon with paralysis out there. I think there's what's his name, Ravemon. Ravemon has that AoE paralysis, but it's just 10%, and Rosemon has 30% chance to paralyze on her single target damage as well. I think RustTyranomon is pretty tanky. It does compare very well with Ebimon. High Andromon will have higher defense, so if you're looking for that and that's really important to you, you can go that route. But RustTyranomon is really, really cool looking, so maybe on that grounds alone, go get him. With that said, he's not a must-have for anyone, just like Mastemon. His thunder damage is really good. I think in the future, it might be better to have Tiger Vespamon, but that's, again, just speculation. Tiger Mastemon hasn't been announced yet, and we don't know when they will come. High Andromon does have a stun, Adabunny is pointing out. High Andromon does need a V2. I agree. His stats are a little bit wonky. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but Hercules Kabuterimon is out there and has massive magical thunder damage as well, but it operates off of only a 4,740 special attack. So it's a very precision beast. It's more on the defensive side. Many of you might have a Hercules Kabuterimon Mutant from the PvP rankings from last PvP season, so that's available for you there. But RustTyranomon, like Mastemon, not a must-have. I still really love the design, and for that, I think I'm gonna try to go deep. I think, you know, I actually listen. Fun fact: I actually listen to the PEPs after the show is done to see if I'm interested in the events, because I actually don't know, and I feel like the show is a lot better if I remain unbiased. Is Mastemon right for you? Again, she does have that null area effect damage. If you don't have Alphamon, then I would maybe say it's okay to get her. Her extra effect, I really wouldn't consider too much. It's only a 10% defense drop, and it happens after most of your other Digimon will move. So when considering her, don't consider her extra status effect too hard. You know, if she is true waifu material for you, then, you know, make sure you babe her up. You can get her before Valentine's Day. You can, like, you know, put your Mastemon in your pocket, go to an ice cream parlor, romance her a bit. Is RustTyranomon right for you? I think he's a really viable option. His damage does get quite up there after his V2, dropping at 6,541, possibly making him a little bit stronger, if not on par with Tiger Vestibumon's, if I remember correctly, 5,800. But Tiger Vestimon has a 600 damage single target, so maybe it differs a little bit. But RustTyranomon does have that 30% chance to paralyze. Something I didn't mention earlier, which I think I should mention now, RustTyranomon's speed is 134, so it's going to be slower than your other Digimon and slower than your opponent's Digimon, meaning that if you're trying to get first turn paralyzed, not likely. Same can be said about Ebimon, who's actually just of average speed as well, and Hyandramon, who's kind of slow too. The downside to paralysis and confusion, where maybe stun has the advantage, is that stun will 100% work, but only for the immediate next turn. I do find paralysis to be quite aggravating in PvP, and I'm going to go ahead and recommend RustTyranomon if you don't already have an electric type attacker. I think he has a really strong signature skill with a great side effect, and he has room to grow. He will never be super fast, but you could maybe hold off on his signature skill maybe 1 or 2 turns, or maybe you'll even get to prevent your opponent from using a crit that they got, because it does paralyze for 3 turns total. Event overview time. Oh, let's take a look at the notes here in the chat, because I'm interested to see what you guys are saying. Adabunny is saying that he's offensively extremely viable, but among the V2s, he's a glass cannon. His stats are nice. He's not as thick as some of the other V2s, so I agree. Currently, though, his stats aren't the best. But again, if you don't have an electric single target attacker, go ahead. Use him. The event will be a bite exchange event with easy, normal, hard, and expert level difficulties, and a chance to see an extra stage, much like our first Plesiomon event, which drove me nuts, by the by. And then the catch for this event is in the final 2 days, we will have the opportunity to be saviors of the apocalypse with our newly made Mastemon, and we can fight off the RustTyranomons who are killing. Let me scroll up to see my notes. How many Digimon was he eating at once? Oh, hundreds of thousands of Digimon within a short period of time. Yeah, so that's definitely an apocalypse. Hundreds of thousands. That would at least be this Discord. It's going to be an extra stage event. You're going to have chips. The chips that are going to give you bonuses are... Oh my gosh, I messed myself up big time when scrolling up on my notes. Okay, the chips are... Chip C, giving you +1 additional bite and a minor chance to trigger the extra stage. Chip B, giving you +1 bite, additional bite. Yes, the exact same number as Chip C. However, Chip B does come with a moderate chance for extra stage. Chip A, as you might imagine, is the best chip by far in this event, giving you an additional 2 bites per drop with a major chance to see the extra stage. At the moment, I don't think we'll be needing to get an extra bite, or not an extra bite, an extra chip. It seems like you'll be able to use the same chip for the whole duration of the event, and that should include the RustTyranomon portion, which will come after and have that incredibly difficult apocalypse stage. Talking a little bit more about the other bonuses, in that second end of the event, Mastemon will get an increased attack and special attack of ×5. And if you manage to pull Shine Greymon Ruin Mode, he will get attack and special attack times 2.5, so 250% increase. But he'll also get an HP boost. Oh my gosh, Sans just showed me an A-chip. Bless you, Sans. Expect the DMs, my friend. People are gonna hound you. But I'm really happy for you. This event is pretty cool. I'm thinking maybe a few more people are excited for this event than the previous event. I'm really into RustTyranomon as a design, so I'm going to take the dive. Let's see. We're running close on time, so I'm going to rush through the rest of it here. Oh, we should also be expecting a training event according to previous in-game announcements to help us level our Mastemon. I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping it's probably like, since it said training, it might be like a meat event. So stock up your meat, save it for 15 minutes, I guess. I don't know. Who is this event for? This event is for, it's very simple, anyone who likes Mastemon or RustTyranomon. Neither are must-haves. If you don't have an electric single-target attacker, go ahead and get RustTyranomon. You do not need to get Mastemon. I think the only reason to get her is because she looks really cool, or because you're going to get her to help you with the RustTyranomon event. The wave Digimon in this event will likely be Mirage type for at least the front half of the event, so I'd like to recommend a handful of Digimon right now. Digimon with single target light damage are Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode, Susanomon, Sakuyamon, Ophanimon, Dianamon, Lotusmon, Bancholeomon, Cherubimon, Gallantmon Crimson Mode, and then Gallantmon has a single target attack, but he also has a spread attack, so if you have that, you can bring that as well. And other Digimon with light spread moves are Seraphimon, Magnadramon, Magnamon, and Allforce Vidramon. Moving on into single target damage dark types, we have Venomyrusmon, Kuzuhamon, Lilithmon, Belphemon Rage Mode, and Beelzemon. Black War Greymon has a single target move as well, but he does have a spread move too, so you can bring him. Other Digimon with dark spread moves are Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode, Belphemon Sleep Mode, Barbamon, and Lord Nightmon. And of course, the new Shine Greymon Ruin Mode from the banner, if you choose to go that route. Which, Secret Spice, I'm actually recommending this banner. This banner is actually pretty good, since I believe it's a guaranteed banner. Let me double check, make sure I'm not BSing you guys. Yep, it's a guaranteed banner. I don't think you can go wrong. Plus, Shine Greymon Ruin Mode looks fab. Also in the banner, which is another mention, is Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon is actually pretty decent. Pretty decent electric or thunder damage spread move, and it does have a room to grow into either Millenniummon in the future or Chaos Dramon. So this banner might be for you. Going back into where I was, let's see, you have your null type damages, Dynasmon, Boltmon, Metal Gurumon, Black, the regular Metal Gurumon, and Prince Mamamon. The last 2 days of the event, we may be seeing entirely different stages, and this will include the Apocalypse stage. There will be separate bites to obtain RustTyranomon, and the stage might be because the stage might be different, you might need to bring different types of damage. So go ahead, and if you have any of these, do prepare them. We're expecting maybe water and plant type damage to be effective. Digimon with single target water damage are Vikemon, Plesiomon, Metal Seedramon, Leviamon, Omegamon Zwart, and Omegamon. Digimon with water spread moves are Metal Gurumon Black and Metal Gurumon, if you have those. Digimon with single target nature or plant damage are Grand Kuagamon, Taitamon, Puppetmon, Platinum Numamon, Rosemon, Rosemon Burst Mode, Saber Leomon, Allforce Vidramon, and Grand Locomon has both single target and a spread move. And other Digimon with spread moves, nature spread moves are Dynasmon, if that's what you did. I think it's a cool animation, and it's not as viable as the other move, but it still works. And Genkumon has a 400 base damage spread move as well, much like Shine Greymon Ruin Mode and Shine Greymon Burst Mode. However, his accuracy is 70, so take that as you will. Of course, my usual disclaimer still applies. When forming parties here in the co-op room, please be mindful of your damage type. When you post your room number, please post with what damage type you are. That way you don't have to worry about forming a party of 3 people that need to be carried with no one strong enough to fill the role. Let's see, we're getting really close on time here. I'm going to go ahead and check out some of your comments. Cool. Some people are sending me their chip pulls. I'm seeing some nice stuff, guys. Nice stuff. Also in the chip captures, Dark Wrath is pointing out that there's the new Last Order. The new Last Order chips, where if your Digimon is incapacitated, you gain stats for either yourself or your allies. Kaylee's is asking the same question that she did last time. Pretty good question. Do we know already what other Digimon may be available in the event for exchange? At the moment, from what I've been able to see, because I can't see the actual exchange room, I only have access to the images that they've shown from like the banners and stuff from the data mine. I go through the picture files. It seems like it's only going to be Mastemon, and it seems like it will only be RustTyranomon for later on in the event, going using different types of bytes for the exchange. All right, because it's going to start soon, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. And something I actually haven't asked for before, if you guys have not already, if you could please subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would help me out a lot. I put so much time into these PEPs, and I also might be putting up some other content soon. So if you don't want to miss out on that, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Some people are already subbed. Let me see if I can find the link. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, you don't have to like videos. Only like videos if you actually like them. Otherwise, have yourselves a fantastic day, and do not forget, I love you.